Welcome back to another episode here on Rotten Block. So it's episode 2, and we're going to get kicked off by opening up a little pop-up shop over at the shopping district to sell all the books that we've been collecting. And a little bit ago, I met up with Bray, who will be managing the shopping district, to ask him about where I could possibly open up this little pop-up shop.
So I hear that you wanted to look for where place like a tentative pop-up shop.
Yeah, is this the shopping district?
Yeah, right here under this tree is I'm hoping we're gonna develop it all right there. But yeah, along this entire shoreline I think is what we're planning for the shopping district. And so I've just been kind of cleaning up the terrain a little bit, getting all the trees
Cool.
out of here and whatnot, so we have a good foundation.
Awesome. So now that we kind of know a general area where we can build our pop-up shop, I've been putting together a ton of emeralds that we're going to use now to start trading with the librarians to get all the books that I am planning to store over here. I've got 24 chests with 24 different enchantments. This isn't everything that I've got up there, but it is quite a few of them, and a lot of them are some of the basic ones, the things that people really want early on in the season. So yeah, now what I need to do is just get to it, start trading, and get those books put together. All right, well, we are done trading with the villagers for now. We've got 21 chests here, all with different books inside, and I know most of it will probably sell. Things like Frostwalker 2, I don't know yet. But yeah, we're here at the shopping district. It looks like Bray's been doing some work over here, making things look pretty. And it looks like he's got a shop planned over here. Yeah, that'll be pretty cool, selling some bee products. And that'll be nice. But over here, I selected this corner where I will be opening up Little Bookie's pop-up book buggy. So I'm taking a little bit of inspiration from those mobile libraries that you see driving around some smaller towns or whatever. Alright, so the little buggy that we were trying to design wasn't really working out, but I have changed plans, and we're trying to get that little BB out. I want this little guy here. Come on, get in the boat. Go, get boat. Do it. There we go. And we have this data pack on the server that the hermits are also using called AgeLock. And hopefully, yeah, there we go. Hopefully it continues to work when I do that. Yeah, so hopefully he stays a little baby forever and ever. And we're gonna bring this guy over to spawn now. Awesome. So now we are over at the shopping district, and I've brought little Bookie over. Gotta figure out where we're gonna put him, but again, yeah, I I wanted to design a buggy, but doing everything here in survival and wanting to sell like 21 different books here, I just didn't think there was going to be enough space with the scale of the buggy that I was going for. So, and it wasn't really looking good. I was definitely struggling a little bit, but yeah, this is what I came up with. So it's little bookies pop up barrels. Yeah, plenty of barrels with plenty of books. So we just need to get little bookie in now, and I really don't know where we're gonna put him. All right, we got little Bookie in place. We moved him into a minecart since it's a smaller hitbox, and we raised him up, put him up on this little pedestal here with the slab, and yeah, it's little Bookie. It looks like the age lock thing is going to work. I was a little afraid renaming him was going to disable that or whatever, but we've been over here for over 20 minutes or so. It looks like it's working. So yeah, Little Bookies is now officially open, and I've let every other member know that it's open so they can come over here. I think we did have a couple come over and visit us a little bit ago, and it looks like we are already making some diamonds here. And how many? I think there was maybe one more. There we go. Last episode, we spent a lot of time just building our farms and getting geared up and hanging out with people and just having fun. But this episode, we are going to work on getting our starter base started. Yeah. And between episodes, I have I've spent quite a bit of time chopping down all the trees in this dark forest, and my goal is to basically have no trees within visible sight of this area. So I have quite a bit more work to do. That's okay. Should end up with quite a bit of wood by the end of this. But my goal this season is to basically build my base into like this picture. So over here, I'm going to build my starter base, And if you look through the canyon, I've got this mountain, this nice, pretty mountain here, and we're going to be utilizing some of this into our base, but we're going to be building or painting a picture. So I've got a couple points here. You know, you can see some more oak over there. But basically, I want to stand here, and I want to be able to look through the canyon and just like stare. Oh, I want a nice picture, and so we're really focused on doing that this season. But we're gonna try to go for like a pastoral sci-fi theme. So that means farmland, grasslands, and whatnot. But I want my area to kind of look like a dry, arid grasslands. So I want it to be empty, and that's why we're clearing out the forest. Basically, I just don't want any trees. So another goal of mine this season is to do a lot of terraforming. So the mountain over there is probably going to change a little bit. And yeah, I'm probably going to replace a lot of this grass with something else. I am doing a little bit of design work on the terrain, but I don't really have anything set in stone. But yeah, I need to start putting materials together so we can get the starter base put together. So our starter base this season, we are trying to pull a lot of inspiration from pastoral sci-fi aesthetics. So movies like The Creator, Rogue One, and A New Hope are really, really good examples of pastoral sci-fi. I'm also trying to pull some inspiration from books like Tales from the Loop, The Electric State, which include a lot of really, really good artwork from Simon Stalenhag. But more specifically, the structure itself is inspired by the Holy Mother of God of Voskapar, which is a 7th century Armenian church. My plans this season, I really, really want to do a lot of custom terrain. We're also going to be implementing a lot of lore elements into the structures, the terrain itself, and maybe some or doing some like armor stand stuff, which would be really cool. But one of my goals this season is to mix the past with the future. So we're gonna be building like these centuries old structures, like the starter base itself, and some futuristic structures that are further in the background. But we do need to make sure that we include rural elements like livestock and farm equipment and whatever other rural things that we can think of. I do also have plans for a final base, maybe not necessarily a mega structure, but something to support a larger storage system, maybe the necessary infrastructure for food, XP, and maybe some other really cool stuff. And throughout the season, we're going to try to maintain this muted color palette, try to avoid too many of the vibrant colors. We're also going to try to focus on the white space around the base. So I really don't want like a ton of structures filling up the white space. I really want the white space to kind of, fill it. If that makes sense, I don't know. But most importantly, I want to focus entirely on the visual of the scene. So standing back here, looking through the canyon, I really, really want a good picture. Awesome. So we got the starter base all built. It's not done. We still have the interior to do, and everything's looking pretty good. I've been doing a little bit of work on the terraforming. It's not permanent, but I wanted things to look a little nice, so I shaped it a little bit. We'll come in with some actual terrain once I get it designed. But yeah, I've chopped down so many trees, and I'm trying to I'm trying to make it so that when I'm standing here and I look through the canyon, that I don't see any trees. So I've still got quite a bit to remove. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I do have to, I have a little bit more work to do at the ground level. I think I'm going to build a farm for dirt, maybe mushroom. That would be a good one too. Yeah, it's not completely done. But what I'm trying to do is kind of pretend like I'm a survivor or something, and I've taken up living in this old structure here. And so I've added some stuff here, like these tents or these covers that go over like the entryway over here. Maybe I'm growing a little bit of food over here. Maybe it's just overgrowth or something. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into the lore, but something happened and it kind of damaged this structure. So there's a bit of rubble here, and we've just made ourselves an entryway so we can get inside. We haven't done the interior yet. I will probably be designing that between episodes, maybe getting it built next episode. Uh, yeah, we need to get that done so we can get stuff moved into here so we can actually live in this space. But it's looking really cool. I've had some feedback from some of the other members, and I think they're really liking it. So for the remainder of the episode, I have some plans. Maybe go start my industrial district. I've already gone out in the world and found a location. We'll be going over there in a little bit. But if you remember or recall from last episode, at the end of it, we we got ourselves a shulker, and I've been storing him over here. But we need to get that guy over to the industrial district. That way, maybe next episode we can get a shulker farm going. And I figured the easiest way to transport these guys are inside boats, and I think that's what he's in. But to do that, I think it'd be even easier if I turn myself invisible. So we're gonna make some invis potions. I think I need to make some glass. I got a little bit of glass here. I think I might. Ooh, I even have bottles. All right, we gotta put these in. Another thing we need to go do is move our nether portal to the ceiling. We need to break the portal. Light it, make sure it goes to the right spot. Yeah, I'm trying to use Voxy. It's a little weird, but I think it's acting a little bit better than Bobby. Alright, we're gonna drink the potion. We're gonna break this guy out. Alright, be on the roof. Hopefully he's not dead. That'd be disappointing. Okay, he's good. Alright, we're here. Gotta get him through. Come on, come on. And through the portal. We got our shulker over to the industrial district. And let me reset. Alright, well, we are a few thousand blocks out. I can't quite see spawn, but I think it's out that way. But we've come way out here to build our industrial district. Now, we aren't getting started on it this episode, but I did want to show it. But we selected this area because it has one of the nearest spawn pets. The other closest one, Renee has taken over. So I wanted my own, because I want my own redstone. So I came out here, and we're going to be building all of our farms over here. So we might be able to do some stuff with, like, the ocean, maybe get some, I don't know, squids. Ooh, Nautilus would be kind of cool. I think we can maybe farm those. But yeah, I have plans to build, like, the shulker farm. That's why we moved him over. But we'll be doing quite a bit out here. I just didn't want to do that all the way over at spawn. Plus, I did want this guy. I could have done a raid farm, but I don't really want to do one of those. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to do yet, but I think I'll work on ideas between episodes. We might end up flattening a lot of this and just building farms on top of the land. I don't know yet. So I wanted to come back over to the base here and just, take it in, stare at it. I was watching an episode of B-Dubs, and he basically said, after every build, you just need to take it in and just take a look at it. Yeah, a little bit ago, I forgot to mention that I'm not really done with the exterior. This structure is meant to be in ruins, so I do want to do a little bit more to make it look like ruins. And since we are kind of adapting this old structure for our needs, we do need it to look a little bit like we've, I don't know, added stuff to the outside. I don't know, maybe like antennas, maybe AC units, whatever, power units, whatever we can think of that's kind of sci-fi related. that we need to add to this. But yeah, it's looking really good. I'm really really happy with this. We do need, there are little details we need to do around the exterior. Like I only really built it from one perspective, but don't worry, I did get the backside done. It's all done. You just need to add a little bit more detail, make it look a little nicer. All right, so I did actually have a little bit more this episode, but I did go prank people, and I don't want things spoiled, so you'll have to go and check out everyone else to see what I got up to. But before we get wrapped up, I do have a question for you guys. Does it feel like I include enough variety per episode? I really only got up to the starter base here. I did do quite a bit of work clearing out the forest, but that could have been something I did at some other point. It didn't have to be during the episode. Um, but yeah, does it feel like I'm including enough variety per episode? But anyways, we are at the end of this episode, and I'm really excited to see where the base goes this season. And if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.